I'm back. All right, we got another OKC Thunder draft prospect. As you can see from that title in the thumbnail, we got Chet Holmgren. Now, if we're talking about the OKC Thunder, and you're watching my content, you probably are a Thunder fan. As you can see, I got this Thunder logo back here. It might be a polarizing player for you, as I think it's a polarizing player for most people, because we have Alexei Pokashevsky. But in my mind, these guys are not similar at all, besides they're 7-footers who can dribble the ball a little bit and they can shoot a three. That's about their only similarities to me. But we'll get more to that at the end, towards the end of this video. So if that's why you're here and you want to hear about that, and then stick around till the end. Okay, so let's talk Chet Holmgren. He's a center, can probably play the 4 spot if you need him to. If you want to pair him with like another guy who can guard those more thick bigs, the strong, muscly guys like Joel Embiid or something, if you want to pair him up with a guy like that. Even though Chet Holmgren is a pretty good defensive player, and that's a lot of reason why the people like him. They like his defense and his rim protection. He's a 7-footer, like I said, 195, so the weight is a concern, but they can always fix that, and he doesn't let that hold him back, and it's not too big of a deal for him. He's got a 7'6" wingspan, which is another part that people love, and he uses that for his rim protection. And he's only 20 years old, so that's good. A good age going in for these top 3 picks. The Thunder got the second pick in the draft. He averaged 14.2 points per game, 9.9 rebounds, almost 2 assists, and 3.7 blocks, so people love that. Shot 60% from the field. He was awesome around the rim. This guy is so efficient, and he really uses his length to his advantage. He shot 39.2% from 3, so almost 40%, and then 73% free throw shooter. I would like to see a better free throw percentage, but for a big man, it's pretty good. If you're not blown away by his offensive stats, Holmgren wasn't really asked to be the main guy at Gonzaga. You had a guy like Drew Timme who came in there. He's a more experienced guy, and he kind of led the team. He averaged 18.4 points for them. But they played pretty good alongside each other. Let's get into it. The defense for Chet Holmgren, his biggest appeal, like I said earlier, is his blocking, and not just using his height against smaller players because he is 7 foot and has a 7'6" wingspan, but he can really maneuver his body around the rim and go for a weak side block. If a guy's going for a reverse layup and he's still on the other side of the rim, he can use that wingspan to come back and get a block, and he can do some chase down blocks, stuff like that. He's not just a one-dimensional rim protector. This guy really knows what he's doing. He has a pretty good basketball IQ. He was 4th in the nation in Division I for college basketball in the nation, 3.7 blocks. He's also a pretty good pick-and-roll defender. He's able to switch and hold his own out on the perimeter. He's not the best perimeter defender, but for a big man who's 7 foot, he's got good footwork, and he can hold his own out on the perimeter and switch on to guys if you need him to. If he does have a smaller player get past him, he can always use his size to recover if they go for a layup and get another block. But he's not just good at switching. He can fall back and defend the roller. Like I said, he has good footwork, a high basketball IQ. You can tell this dude's been playing basketball a long time. He's a really good defensive prospect, even though he's not the biggest guy weight wise and muscle wise. He doesn't let that hold him back, and he can really maneuver in the defense and guard guys out on the perimeter, mid-range, and he might struggle down low a little bit, but he puts up a fight. He doesn't just let dudes push him around. He can bang down low. Throughout his career and going into the NBA, he's not always going to be asked to guard the strongest guys and, dudes like that, and he's not going to be great at that right away, and most young bigs aren't. But he's going to put up a fight, and he can always make up for it with his wingspan and his height, which is why that makes him such a unique player. And he'll get stronger, and he'll get put on some more weight, hopefully, and get better at that throughout his career if that's your main worry. And if you are worried about that, in college, if you watch some of his highlights, going against some of those stronger opponents, he didn't always struggle against the guys like Duren and Paolo Banchero, those 6'10" dudes who got a little muscle on, got an NBA type body already. He didn't really struggle against those guys the whole time. Like he's blocking those guys' shots and he's putting up a fight. He's not just letting them back him down and just get an easy hook shot down low. So he does have experience against some stronger guys. Obviously the NBA is different and those guys got moves. They got a bag to score. But he's gonna learn how to defend those guys. Depending on who the Thunder get and who he plays with and just how he gets coached and how he trains and put in some work, and he can learn to defend those guys. But he's not just gonna give them up and just let them get a hook shot. And then obviously, especially if you're a Thunder fan, you're gonna like this. This guy brings good rebounding, 9.9 rebounds. He gave up some offensive rebounds throughout his college career, but he can also work on that. And as he'll get stronger and get some more muscle and just get more experience in the NBA, he'll get better at that as well. All right, now we can move on to his offense, where people see he has a lot of potential, even though they really love him for his defense. But this guy has huge potential on offense, depending on how he develops in his career. He shot 39% from three on 105 attempts throughout the whole college year, 32 games. Shot 50% once they started playing conference play, 26 of 52. The thing I really like about him, he has a good shot form, just a natural shot form, high release point. Again, using his height to his advantage. Once again, he really plays into it. Just love his shot form. It's so natural, it's fluid, and it just flows like a regular basketball shot. Even though he's a 7-footer who, a unicorn type of dude, doesn't really look like the everyday basketball player. He still really has a nice shot for him. I would like to see some more mid-range game from him, but like I said, he has a good shot for him. It really seems like he does from the little highlights you see. If you watch through that, his mid-range game seemed like he has a shot there, but I would like to see him, perfect his mid-range, because that does really help in the playoffs in the NBA, having a good mid-range game. This guy's able to hit some transition threes while trailing, and he can also hit some pull-up threes, because like I said, this guy's got some ball handling, so he can hit some transition pull-up threes. He has good handles for a big man, allowing him to attack the basket and really take advantage of mismatches if he's up against a smaller player, to attack the basket and get a good layup on him, or if he's going up against a slower big who maybe doesn't play great defense, he has a couple dribble moves that you can get by those guys. If you go watch some highlights, you can see that. Good crossover, and even a good, just a little step back, crossover move to create some space and maybe hit a jumper. Strong around the rim, uses his length, uses the rim to protect him so the guy can't block his shot. He can really maneuver, do some reverse layups, and just really great movement around the rim. 80% when he shoots down low on non-post up plays. Just a great finisher. Not one-dimensional down low. Not a great post-up player, but, not one-dimensional when he's rebounding down low, using the rim, either putting up. This dude loves to dunk. I love that about him. He loves to dunk, and he can just do some moves around the rim that's really good. Great court awareness on offense. Just his spacing is really good. He knows where to be and how to move. This guy moves around a lot. He runs, comes off screens, makes good cuts off of passes. He doesn't just stand around and watch the ball. He's always looking for a lob or looking for a pass. He's a great lob threat because he loves to dunk, and he's ready for the pass. Playing with a guy like Drew Timme, this dude's ready for the pass. He just played great alongside Drew Timme. Drew Timme would get maybe just in the high post, grabs the ball. You see Holmgren make a cut and Timme throws the lob, stuff like that. That's great. I love seeing that. One thing I would like to see him, you see a little bit of a fadeaway jumper. Sometimes I would love to see him perfect that. He could be elite if he perfects that, similar to Dirk. Not saying he's going to be as good as Dirk or anything like that, but using that, having that signature move along with that 7-foot height, that could be amazing and could be a go-to shot, signature shot. 57 offensive rebounds throughout the 32 games. Love that. Good offensive rebounder. A lot of putbacks. He's a good putback guy. Second chance points really help in the playoffs and throughout the regular season. We didn't get to see much playmaking from him at the college level, but if you watch highlights before that or if you watch him play, before that. He is a decent passer, but would like to see some more playmaking from him if he is going to be a ball handler. And just, maybe some playmaking out of the high post or anything like that. We just didn't get to see much of it at Gonzaga because you had a guy like Drew Timme and, some of the guards there. But the potential is there because he is a good passer. Now we can get into some of his weaknesses. Like I said, everybody's thinking this. He gives up a lot of size and strength, not height-wise, but just muscle and weight-wise. But he makes up for it with his shot blocking, and he can always put on some muscle. He's not going to be able to stop every single matchup, but not many players, especially young bigs coming into the league. There's not a whole lot of people that are stopping Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic, Vucevic, those big, strong guys, DeAndre Ayton, guys like that. Like, how many players are guarding dudes like that? So having that shot blocking is vital to know a young big like that, 3.7 blocks. He can use that wingspan, even if he is giving up some size and some weight. One thing, he doesn't really have a go-to move when he posts up. I know I said he's good around the rim and he's not one-dimensional, but you're not seeing him post up on a smaller big because of his weight. And he doesn't really have a go-to post-up move besides maybe a fadeaway. And like I said, I would like to see him perfect that fadeaway because I didn't really watch Gonzaga throughout the year, but from the highlights, he would throw up a fadeaway jumper every once in a while, and he would make that. And if he can perfect that, then hey, good, I love that. But I'd like to see him maybe have a good post move, hook shot or something, or a reverse layup or something, just something around the rim when he's posted up. So when he does go for that fadeaway, it's not just the obvious thing, and the defense is ready for it every single time, and he has to have a hand in his face. But he is not, even though he doesn't have a great post up move, he's not limited to playing on the inside. Like I said, he can dribble the ball. Can shoot the ball, can create some mid-range shots for himself. Would like to see him be more of a create his own shot type of guy for when maybe the other players on his team aren't having a great offensive game. So creating his own shot is another thing that we'd like to see him do. I would like to see him work on his ball security a little bit. Obviously, being a 7-footer who likes to dribble the ball, you're going to turn over the ball a little bit because, that's a lot of space for the ball to dribble. And if you get a smaller, faster guy, or maybe a guy like Nerlens Noel or Bam Adebayo, those guys who are really good defensively and are quick and fast and have quick hands and can get the steal, you're going to get some turnovers like that. So I'd like to see him improve ball security. Not always the best defending in the post, even though he is a 3.7 per game blocks per shot. Sometimes a guy will put on a spin move, or if he does a quick move, sometimes he will give that up, but, he can always improve on that. If he gets a good defensive coach or works with a good defensive big vet, if the Thunder bring in one, or whatever team he ends up on, if they bring in a good defensive big and he can learn from that guy. Or you can always pair him up with another guy who doesn't give up the size and weight and has a lot of muscle. Maybe a guy like Derek Favors, or just somebody who's similar to that and who can guard those Joel Embiid, Nikola Jokic type guys that like to who got a lot of weight on them and like to post up inside. All right, now while we're all here, especially maybe if you're watching my content, not just found me randomly on YouTube, if you're a Thunder fan, let's talk about his fit with the Thunder if the Thunder did draft him with that 2nd overall pick in this draft. If the Thunder do draft him, this locks up one of the big spots, the 4 or the 5, wherever they want to play him. If they want to do like the Cavs and play him at the 4 and pair him up with a Jared Allen, like the Cavs do with Evan Mobley. Locks up a big spot. Thunder desperately need just a big down there to run some more normal lineups, and that could get them to winning in the future. Maybe not this next year, but the year after that or something. Just run some better lineups with a more normal roster, and that can give them some winning, not just giving up easy buckets to the bigs. And that's a lot of reason why the Thunder lost. They just didn't have a big guy down there to compete. And now Chet Holmgren, I think, pairs great with Gideon Shea and the pick and roll game. It opens up the floor by just him bringing some scoring Just gives Shea and Giddey another pass option. And also, this guy's a great lob threat. Like I said, he loves to dunk, and he is ready for the lob at Gonzaga. He's always looking for a pass. He's ready. And when you got a guy like Josh Giddey, who's not always just going to give it away, that he's going to make a pass, he's looking for the pass. I think he pairs great with Giddey, and will probably be paired great with Shea as well. And then now he's also going to bring some shooting, so he's going to be giving the Thunder some spacing and shooting. He's a much-needed role on this Thunder team. It has been for the longest time. Obviously, it's not as bad as it was, like when Russell Westbrook, Paul George, those guys were here. Thunder desperately needed some shooting. Then worse than they do now, but it's still there. They still need some shooting on the offense to open up the floor for Shea, just for Shea, and even a little bit for Giddey too. But Shea just needs to be able to drive, because that's when he's at his best, when he's driving to the rim, creating some contact, getting to the free throw line, making those difficult layups, being a slithery finisher like Shea is, and let Shea go to work. And then another thing, even though he's a young guy, I think he has a lot of basketball IQ. I can tell this dude has been playing basketball all his life, just the way he runs around the court, comes off screens, makes cuts when when his teammates are passing, looking for the pass, getting ready for a lob. Just the overall would help the flow of the offense and the Thunder look like a more organized offense, and just bring some scoring. Another huge thing that the Thunder need is rebounding. The Thunder need rebounding so bad. They need rebounding. I think 9.9 rebounds, even though he does give up some offensive rebounds, a little more than I would like him to. I think just 9.9 rebounds, and also offensive rebounds that he's going to get. He had 57 offensive rebounds throughout the 32 games with Gonzaga. 57 offensive rebounds is great. Just put back second chance points is going to be huge in the playoffs down in the future, and it's also going to maybe help them win some close games. Second chance points are huge. I love him. He's also good in transition. You can see him take the ball full court, and I love transition points just correlate to winning in my head, especially with past Thunder teams. Having fast break points was huge. It was huge for wins. And like I said, inside defensive presence, he brings the shot blocking 3.7 blocks per game. I know I said it a bunch this video, but that's just what people love about him. Inside presence, Thunder needs something down low, locking up a big spot. It's desperately needed. Blocking shots, rim protection. Even though the Thunder have played pretty good defense, with guys like JRE, Shea has been getting better at defense. Dort is freaking Dort. Like, he's going to play awesome defense. Kenrich Williams, the guys like that, he's going to bring even more defense. So locking up some even better defensive play from these younger teams is great. Now, if you are a Thunder fan, you might see the similarities of Aleksej Pokusevski, like I said at the beginning of this video. Let's get into it a little bit more in depth here. Yes, they are both 7-footers who don't have a lot of weight to them, looking like a twig out there. They both can dribble the ball a little bit and shoot outside of perimeter, 3-pointers, and even some mid-range. I don't think they play alike at all, if you're asking me. Holmgren seems to fit much more into his body. He seems to be more used to it. I'm not sure how long he's been a 7-footer. Maybe not has been that long, but he feels like he fits into his body, like he's grown into his body already. Like I've been saying this whole video, high basketball IQ. Poku doesn't have a ton of experience playing at a high level. When he was over in Greece, he was playing at a lower level, Euro League, whatever it was down there. Chet's basketball IQ, Poku down here, is night and day to me. I can tell just the way he moves on the court. The way he moves around the court with ease, and it just comes natural to him, while Poku Poku got a little bit better throughout the season, but he also got a little bit more chances and a little bit more, chances with the ball in his hands. He's not always going to have that when you got Shea and Josh Giddey playing. Moving off ball is going to be huge when those two guys are playing, and further on in the Thunder's future when we're in the playoffs and whatnot. It's going to be huge, moving without the ball. I think just the way Chet moves, he knows where to be, and he's always looking for a pass. And also, I think probably the biggest difference in the way they play is Chet is aggressive, and he almost wants the contact at the rim. He creates it sometimes, and he's not afraid to take it. And he can finish at the rim, and he's a pretty good finisher around the rim. I mean, 80% on the non-post up plays. He's awesome around the rim, and he's aggressive, and he likes to create contact and make contact. And I honestly think that's the biggest difference between him and Poku. Poku tries to slither around it and avoid it, and maybe stops prematurely and takes a mid-range shot, or just a contested shot instead of going all the way to the rim and creating the contact. And like I was saying, like Holmgren is a much better player off the ball. He doesn't need the ball to be effective. While Poku seems to be more of a has to have the ball in the hand and create his own shot type of guy, when he's not always going to have that chance. Yes, it's nice to have that, but he's not always going to have the chance to do that when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Josh Giddey are out there running the offense. I mean, those two guys are going to be the main guys running the offense throughout the Thunder's future as long as they're on the team. I think Holmgren has a much more natural and more fluid shot form. Poku's release point has gotten higher, which I like, but Holmgren has already been naturally a high point release using that 7-foot advantage. And, similar to Dirk with that high release point, it's hard to guard him, hard to contest his shot. And, even KD, guys like that, having that high release point, a natural shooting motion, I think is huge. I think that's another difference in them. Even though Poku's shot has been getting more to where I like it, and it's becoming a little bit more natural, it's still a little off, and I think could be a little bit higher, but the release point is higher. So seeing those improvements from Poku. And I'm not saying Poku's just dead weight at this point, and he can still get better. I mean, he's still a young guy, still hasn't had a ton of high-level basketball experience. I don't even know how long he's been playing basketball. And also, at this point, maybe even Chet Holmgren has had more experience playing basketball. I can tell this dude has been playing basketball all his life. He's been playing at high levels, probably playing some AAU basketball, playing in those U19 USA teams, and then playing at Gonzaga. I think he just has a ton of experience playing against the best available to him. Playing in college basketball, playing Division I, playing at Gonzaga, and even making it into the tournament, even though they didn't go very far. Still playing all those games that really contributes to his experience, and I think probably just as much experience as Poku does already coming in just to this draft. And then another big difference, them being 7 foot and being a taller player, even though he is skinny, Chet does play like a big man, even though we didn't really know how Poku was going to come in and how he was going to play and what position he would be. And he has played more a wing type of a guy since he's been with the Thunder. But Chet plays like a big man. He doesn't, even though he can dribble the ball and has an outside shot, he's still inside banging with the big guys and, playing around the rim 80% on those non-post ups. Playing like a big guy, getting some rebounds on defense, being a shot blocker, and not just like some chase down blocks like Poku gets. Obviously, Poku's shot blocking isn't terrible, and he gets them every once in a while. Chet's down there playing some big man defense. That's the biggest difference. So if you're concerned about him being like Poku, I wouldn't be worried about that. Just honestly, I don't think they play like it all, other than they're 7 foot and they can shoot. That's their biggest similarity. So if you're worried about that as a Thunder fan, it's not going to be too big of a deal. I don't think they're similar at all. So hey, that's about it for me. Thank you guys for watching this. I know I'm back. I know I've been gone for a while. If you've watched some of my older videos, hopefully getting back into basketball this coming season. We're going to watch some more Thunder games. We're going to pay attention this off season and this draft. Hopefully do some draft stuff. Maybe you'll see me. Hey, I'm streaming over on Twitch. I'll leave that down in the description. Leave a comment. Let me know what you want to talk about. I'll do some more draft prospect videos. Jabari Smith, Paolo Banchero. And then, the Thunder also had the 12th pick in the draft. So we're going to talk about guys that might be available there. All right. Thank you guys for watching, and see you next time.